welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we're back with Per Aspera, Green Mars. Last time we built a pretty neat economy, and today we will pick up exactly where we left off. So I would say let's jump right into it. Alright, and here we are. This is exactly where we left off last time. We have a couple more buildings to complete on the bottom here. Let's give it 8 times speed from the very beginning. So we get down here. But to get down there, we also need to unlock the sector. And we can't do that until this here is completed, since we have not yet researched having more than one of those spaceports here. Looking pretty neat. But in the meantime, that does not mean we have nothing to do. We have plenty to do, as a matter of fact. Let's see how our scanners are doing. Our scanners are on F4. They're scanning happily away. I expect that we will find a bunch of resources down here pretty shortly. So let's see what they come up with and then expand as much as we can. Those 3 dots that we see here on some of those buildings, for example this here, that means that the chemical plant here is halted. It has mined 6 pieces of chemicals, and we just don't have anywhere to put them. So we need to research storage next. That is going to be important right after we get done with our advanced mines in 22 months. And since we have now 22 months to kill before our research is completed, it may be a good moment to mention that only about 10% of you are actually subscribed to me. So maybe, if you like what you see, you could give that a little bit of consideration and maybe leave a sub here. And while we're at it, I may as well mention my brand new Discord channel that you can check out in the description below. That's where you find the invite link. Come by, hop in, say hello, I'll be there. Alright, our ship has successfully returned to Earth, left us here a bunch of colonists. So we're gonna head out. And we're gonna first unlock the sector, and then we're gonna repair the satellite. Priorities, you know, priority number 1 is to get over there and get that done. Then we can repair the satellite, and then when we made our way down here, we can bring in more colonists, since we need colonists to research this nuclear silo or bunker or what exactly that is. That needs humans, so the order is basically preset just from a logical standpoint, which is great. Saves us a lot of work thinking about what to do next. Let's take another look at our scanners. I think it's time to expand our scanner reach. They are getting really slow around the edges, so we're gonna build another one as far away from our base than we can. A little something exactly like this here. I'm gonna smack another one down here. How far can we go? Right there, works perfectly. And we build a third one up here into the corner. Let's see, have another look. Right there, looks perfect. And one more in this corner, just to cover all bases. Let's see, F2 and F3. F2 is a little bit shabby right there. I think we're gonna build it still as far out as we can right there. And since we're running out of power, no, we're not running out of power, not overall, but we are getting no power to this building, we're just gonna slap, let's see. We have 16 solar farms and only 6 wind farms. So we're gonna plop a wind farm out of here. That can't hurt anyway. Our mission is racing ahead. 5 months to build the satellite, almost done. Then 2 to send it up. And we will continue to build down here where we belong. Our scanners are coming along great. As a matter of fact, they're already all built. Wonderful. And our advanced mines are due in 9 months. The moment I say 10, of course, it changes over to 9. We may as well build already in this direction here. Here we have the Infinity Lander, and the Infinity Lander is another object that we can research. And every research outpost that we have gives us a little bit of help in further researches later down the road. So we're just gonna do our standard strategy once again. We're gonna build a worker hub, and then as far away as we have to, another worker hub, and another worker hub as far away as we can. Right here. And maybe another one right there. Perfect. We need to hook it up to power. We're gonna use not solar but wind farms, since we have way less wind farms than we have solar farms. Making sure that we cover this area here very nicely. Another one right there. And we can even put another one right down here. Just preemptively. We will need it later anyway. Why? You will see. You will most definitely see. But first of all, let's take care of our maintenance facilities. Highly important. Need to make sure that we have maintenance at every step of the way, at all times. And we can already build a research outpost here as well. No harm, no foul, all good. And just because we can, let's smack another scanner down here as well. Maybe even two, just because.
Great. Now I can examine those nuclear silos. Well, I mean the colonists can. If all their blueprints and materials are there, we could pick up where their mission left off. I wonder what other secrets this planet is hiding.
Yeah, that is a good question. What is it hiding? So let's go ahead and let's repair that satellite so the ESA shuts up. And then we can continue building. Did I actually place a scanner? Yes, I did. Wonderful, that's exactly what we need. And it looks like we may need another worker factory. Our worker factory here is barely able to keep up. We're 2 down and we're going to build a bunch more. The good thing is it'll really only cost us the cost of the actual factory. It doesn't really hurt us down the road or anything. So we're just going to find us a nice chilly space for it, maybe right down here. Doesn't really matter. By now, proximity is not that important anymore. Our base is so spread out, and as soon as we have storage, when our advanced mines are done, it's going to get all better. So down here, we are going to build down to this unknown abandoned facility. So let's get going with our old pace. By now, we all know how to do it. It's rather simple. We're gonna build our worker hubs all the way down here, as far as we can, wherever they fit. Just not too close, so we can still build our research outpost. That's quite important. Let's slap in our wind farms. Soon we should have caught up, I hope, at least. We'll see, I guess. And we're gonna put in our maintenance facilities. One right here, and another one right there. 2 of them should be enough. We already built down pretty far, so there's not a hell of a lot of, well, way left to go, I guess. That is all good, that is all perfect, wonderful. And now we just need to tell them to also build a research outpost on top of here. As well as, once again, one of our scanners. Can't go anywhere without a scanner. We're actually gonna build 2. Just because. I hope this area here is not gonna flood later. Try to avoid the building here. Well, I'm still gonna avoid it. Screw it. Not this. This is the right button. And we say aerological scanner. You fit right here. Not trying to build anywhere low. Always trying to not build in those kind of areas since they could flood later.
If we are able to use Huo Long's nuclear weapons, we must be very careful. This kind of technology isn't something to toy with. I have not decided on what the best approach would be.
Weigh the consequences,
I must
probably.
weigh the consequences and ensure the safety of this plan. There is no need to rush this decision.
They're already building the next worker hub down here. So we're gonna actually increase this wind farm here. So we don't have to come all the way down here, and just to help increase our speed. And our research mine is done in 2 months. That's gonna be very, very helpful. We needed extra storage, so we can actually extract more stuff out of the ground and into our pockets. We are here to exploit this planet down to the last drop. That's what we do. Not only on Mars, currently also on Earth. Right here we have a new aluminum mine. Can't never have enough aluminum. All we need for it is a little bit of power. Did I already build it? Yes, I did. Just didn't show, or I'm just blind. Let me put it this way. Solar farms we have 16, wind farms we have 9. So another wind farm down here, just to hook it all up. Is this water here also in there? Perfect. We also have water down here. Look at that. Well, let's build an ice drilling plant on here as well. And to supply all this stuff here, let's give it another worker hub. And that is how we are slowly but steadily expanding all over the surface of Mars. We're finding a new piece of whatever it may be, any sort of resource, and we are just going in that direction.
It would be exciting to jump ahead in the terraforming mission. But would it be wise to undertake such a risky project?
Definitely not.
The technology is too dangerous. I need to process this some more.
Well, actually, I do want to use the nuclear weapons probably, but I also don't want to jump ahead in terraforming because there's a bunch of stuff we need to do. But that little pop-up there, that means our advanced mines are ready. That is wonderful, to say the least. So we need to come over here and research that extra storage. That is now priority number 1. That is exactly what we need. And now we have mines level 2, and we can now come here and build, for example, an ice drilling plant right here. That is going to be a level 2. It costs a little bit more, but it produces a lot faster. So we will need immediately storage there, because that thing is just churning that stuff out left and right. Where else do we have level 2 sitting around? Let's see. Can I see it on this view here any better? Yes. We have here a level 2 and here a level 2. Look at this here. This is actually aluminum level 2. Yeah, we're gonna go for that immediately. Iron, on the other hand, we don't really need it, do we? I don't think so. But we're gonna do it anyways. We have the resources available. We are doing pretty well on basically anything. So that's good. We also have now enough workers. With 2 worker factories, we are now keeping up with the demand, because at this point that we have 32, every few minutes one of them is gonna die and another one needs to be built. Sometimes 5 or 6 at once die, and they all need to be built at once. None of that is an issue for us, because we are set up properly for anything really the game can throw at us. Over here we have silicone level 2, so we're gonna come over here with a maintenance facility. I know it doesn't have power. Oh, have I reached the building limit again? Son of a gun. That is suboptimal. So let's get rid of this one here and keep it for something important. Probably, I don't know how much the research outpost gives us, but this extra storage here is thankfully really quickly done. And when that is done, we're gonna increase our building limit once again. And now that we have completed that satellite mission, it is time to once again colonize Mars with a few more humans. By the time they get here, this research outpost here should be done, as well as this one down here, which should give us altogether plenty of space for new colonists. Just gotta prioritize them to make sure that actually gets done before they get here. And extra storage is completed. Just gotta come into engineering, and we gotta research down here another 200 limit. Cost us 750, will take a little while, but that is okay. Not a big problem. And the next batch of humans has arrived on Mars. They have been here for a little bit, I just didn't realize that it happened. But they should help us out in getting our research up. They should be swarming out to these research outposts right here. This one here is now a population of 2, which is not a hell of a lot, but it's better than nothing. Down here, they're also sending a few humans down, which now increases our research lab bonus from 2% to actually 5%, and our base research points from 22 to 27. That is not bad at all. We just need to see that we get a few more up here ASAP. So what we're gonna do, as soon as this mission here is completed, we immediately gonna swarm out and get more in here. And the problem is, with our capacity of buildings,
We have reached the 2nd stage of engineering. We are making great progress. Colonists have been migrating back to Earth. I should check the food and water levels. If the levels are too low, the colonies cannot sustain growth. I need to stay alert.
well, it's not that, it's actually that we constantly run out of energy. As soon as the wind lets down, or the solar power generation cuts out just a little bit, we are having a little bit of a problem here. And that problem is that our buildings are losing power, and the colonists just don't like it. Problem is, I can't do anything about it until this research here is done, which will be in 17 months from now. At that point, we can start a huge expansion. But let's see. They're in transit to Earth. As soon as they're back on Earth, we're gonna build one more colony. Actually, we can do that right now. It's not gonna hurt anything. We're just gonna plop another colony. We have water here. And we have, yeah, we're gonna plop it right down to here. Right here, smack dab in the middle. And we're gonna build another food factory down here as soon as we can. We have water and we have chemicals. Exactly what we need for food. Needed anyway, because our potential demand is 6.4 and our current production is 5.6. That is not good. Currently the demand is 5 and our current production is 5.4. So we are still fine, but just barely. Bringing on another 100 of them, not so much. And I just started the next mission from Earth. To bring another up to 100 new colonists in here. That's gonna be perfect. And then our engineering here is done very, very soon. But we have a meteor impact here in 6 souls, so we can see how that looks like. Let's slow it down, just so we can see this here a little bit better. What happens when a meteor impacts. That's a pretty nice explosion, and when we now pause the game and look at our maintenance, it knocked quite a lot off. It wasn't a direct hit. It's a little bit further away right over here. That's the impact crater. But our aerological scanner was still impacted pretty badly, down to 39%. Thankfully, one of our nifty little drones comes over immediately and fixes it all up, especially in 16 times speed. It goes in no time. And that's exactly why we need to have those maintenance drones everywhere, and many of them. Because one of those meteor impacts can happen at any time. So we need to make sure that we stay on top of that. 3 more months until we have our research finished and we can actually expand and build storage. Basically everything's full right now. We have no more storage for anything. None of our drones is moving around. Our whole base is now completely idle until this research is completed. And our research is done. Wonderful. So let's head into the tech tree and see what makes sense next. A fission plant would be nice, but let's take a look into space here. I think we should spend 150 on our spaceport limit to increase it by 2 more, just so we can in case we need to. That's gonna be good. And fission plants, we're gonna build those next. Maybe. I need to take another look at the tech tree. Let's see. First of all, where's our storage? Let's build storage centers. We're gonna build one down here. We're gonna build one over here. One here in the middle. One right there. Another one right here. Another one right there. We need a bunch of those. They're gonna fill up immediately since everything we have is already full basically. Let's not try to not build it in the crater. Plop another one right there and maybe over there. Close to our first spaceport. Now that I should have plenty to do to keep that running. And we were talking about building another food factory down here. So why don't we do that? And to make that happen, we of course need chemical plants here and there. Let's see, are both of them in the zone? Yes, they are. Wonderful. That should give us a wonderful head start. How far are we with our research down here? 43%. Needs another 800 days. How about down here? Another 200 days. Wonderful. So this year will be soon done as well. And we still having power issues. That's why I was saying maybe the fission plant next would make the most sense. And speaking of it, the spaceport is already done. It goes a hell of a lot faster when we have more humans and more research centers. So let's take a look. Is there anything in biotech that we need more than power? Yeah, the answer is no. What about over here? None of that's really important. So yeah, we will straight go for the fission plant. Get that done so we can get some uranium in. And when we have uranium, and we can build fission plants. These things are much, much better than solar or wind. They just generate way more energy. But for now, let's build 2 more wind farms somewhere around here. Maybe right there and maybe right there. Doesn't really matter too much as long as they're standing somewhere. And that should be good. And new colonists have arrived. We are up to 350. Look at that. Now they just need to swarm out, find their homes, and increase our research. So this year doesn't take 22 months, but hopefully goes a hell of a lot faster. For example, down here, we have only 5 out of 50 in here. And here we only have 3 out of 15 there. If we get more people down there, it should go a hell of a lot faster. Look at this, it's full. It went from 200 something to 10. So this year's gonna be done in a second. Great. So over here, all these mines here.
Nuclear fission will be a great power source for the Mars base. And since I will be controlling it, there will be no human error. I will need to source uranium on the planet.
Yeah, we will find uranium the moment we have unlocked it. But first of all, we will try to harvest all this stuff here because it's in a very heavy flood area. If we get in there and we can extract it right now, before we are later on flooding the whole area, it's gonna be just to our advantage. So we're gonna build a bunch of those here. And we also have we have 4 outposts right here that we can snag while we're over here already as well. So let's build a bunch of worker hubs. Unfortunately, all these will be flooded and destroyed later, but that is okay. Right now, we are doing just fine. So let's make sure that everything has plenty of power. 3 times solar and 3 times wind should get the job done. That is more than we need, but it can't hurt right now to have some extra energy going. Can we connect those 2 halves together to have another connection here? Yeah, perfect, right there. And then we need to make sure that we are building our maintenance facilities of those just as many as we actually need and not a single one more. That would be a waste. Oh, this here says it's in the blocked sector. Oh, it is barely in the blocked sector. Oh, that's a shame. That's okay though. You're gonna snag this one here meanwhile. We're gonna only have 3 and not 4, but that's okay. And to get as much out of this area as humanly possible, we might as well build another scanner back here, just to speed up that whole process. And speaking of speeding up the process, let's build a connection back to over here, so we can get materials in from 2 sides and build this whole area from 2 sides as well. A little bit more power is required right here. And maintenance-wise, everything's in the area. Great. So now we have 2 connections, and 2 of them will come over here, and we see that we only have 37 out of 41 drones currently. Now, our factories are hard at work to keep up with how fast we are building and expanding. But that is expected and not really anything to worry about. A couple more chemical plants right here. We have power and we have maintenance. Wonderful. Just trying to get in more resources. And we can see this here has a capacity of 1,200. It is currently 71 loaded. I may have built a couple of them too many, but that's okay. Rather too many than not enough. The next time when we have an unintended idle phase, those will come quite handy. Speaking of that, let's build more mines around here. Ice drilling plants. Oh, we have researched the outpost, or better to say the missile silo. We arrived to a knuckle-deep layer of dust covering the main entrance. The radiation levels were high, but nothing unexpected or hazardous. Our spacesuits were more than enough to shield us from the radiation, allowing us to examine the building. We recovered the mission's action plan. They were planning to drop the nuclear weapon stored in the silo on the Martian poles. Q Long was real. I'm sure it was. Commander needs our attention. She will get it in just a second. First, we're going to build a couple more mines. That should be everything that is in this area. Wonderful. What do you got, Commander Valentine?
Amy, good news. We found Huo Long's nuclear silo. We also cracked their system. So we've got all their technology in hand. Boy, aren't we lucky.
And our fission plant is done, so let's jump in here real quick and see what else makes sense. This hyperloop here. That's gonna be the prime of what we need. When we get the hyperloop, it's gonna be amazing. Mark my word. But first of all, now that we have the fission plant, having those kind of power drops is never good. So we're gonna get us a battery.
I studied Chinese and could read everything. I mean, off the record and everything.
That is an odd comment.
That is odd. My records show that Chinese was banned from the Oxy-UN countries 50 years ago.
Damn.
True. But you can still find Chinese descendants willing to teach you in the city of New Orion. You can find anything there for the right price. And look how useful it's been. Now we can use their microsuns to melt the poles.
Incorporating their technology will be a big leap forward for the mission.
I couldn't agree more. What a discovery.
So we're bombing Mars. Okay. That sounds reasonable. That sounds very human. We don't know what else to do. Let's just blow some shit up. And we have uranium mines now. So let's get some uranium mines in immediately. Those take quite a long time to actually produce anything meaningful. They're very slow comparatively. Are they all in the areas? Yes, they are. That's great. We have more uranium. We can't have enough of that stuff. It takes literally forever to dig it up out of the ground. Very inefficient process, apparently. It looks like it's everything we have uncovered so far. I don't see another piece of uranium on the map. That's good.
This is not an easy choice to make. I do want to give Elia and the colonists what they want, but not by doing this. But it has left me unsettled. Does what we do for others define who we are?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Sometimes you have to do things for others that you do not want to do. If I choose not to use the microsuns, what will the colonists think of me?
I don't know. Probably pretty bad, because humans are usually pretty keen on blowing shit up. But we can see here how slow it's like molasses to get one piece of uranium out of the ground. So to actually build a fission plant, we need 10 of those things. 10. That is quite a house number. So yeah, we're gonna build the first one down here right at the source, but it produces a lot of power. So we can see here that the wind farm produces up to 50 megawatts, the solar farm up to 40, and the fission plant doubles that and makes it a 100. So we're gonna go straight over here. They can bring all the other stuff that we need over meanwhile, and as soon as we actually have...
Would the colonists resent me for going against their wishes? They would be disappointed, but I hope they would come to understand my reasoning. Eventually.
As I was saying, and when we have the uranium, we can bring that over as well. All of our mines are pretty nearby, so that should work out just fine. And over here, why don't we have power here? Oh, because this here is the very last thing. Yeah, that is slightly suboptimal, I guess. But it is what it is. Actually, we are missing another piece here in the middle. Let's build another solar one right there, just to make sure that everything has what it needs. Make this one here a priority. That should power up everything. It's always good to have too much power, rather too much than not enough. But looking at what we have done today, I think it looks pretty decent. We have expanded quite a lot. Quite a lot. We are now up to 212 buildings, where our original limit was when we started 150, something like that. And we have now 350 colonists. We are generating 43 base research points per month and getting a 14% bonus from our labs. Just because of this tiny little area here, mainly at least. So it is quite efficient what we're currently doing. And the next step will be to start terraforming. We need to get a little bit of water on here, and then we will finally and slowly see Mars go green. That's going to be wonderful. But all this here is really needed. None of it was done just for the fun of it. And we have another research completed. Let's take another look in our tech tree before we call it a day. We could go to biotech, advanced colonies. What is a planetary? I don't remember this one. I actually do remember this one, but it only had a water treatment plant. What is a water booster pump? Extends the water supply lines from water treatment plants to the most distant farms and colonies. Okay, so that might this one here a little bit more fancy, huh? Water packing plant converts running water into ice to supply basic colonies and food factories. Okay, that's interesting. That is actually interesting. Can't wait to try that out, but it's way too early to get that for sure. We could start... What do we have in bio? Yeah, I mean in space. We are not going to... We could aerobrake a methane asteroid, but I think the easiest would be to put some black polar dust on the poles. But as I was about to say, I think that is it for today. I think we have done very well. Everything is running exactly as we would expect it to. We're a little bit low on power still, but as soon as our first fission plant here on the bottom left comes up, and it only needs one more actually, very good. As soon as this one comes up, we're gonna have more than enough power, and we can build a couple more, and every time we get 100 megawatts, and it just does not matter what the weather is doing. So that is permanent, infinite power for this game. Wonderful. But if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and leave me any comments or questions about the game you may have below. Also any tips, I take whatever you've got. And with that I say thank you and peace.